Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
Kensil Culture, Puppets, Props, Puns, Podcasts.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Kensil Culture. Hi, I'm the legendary Wid, and this is the pop culture magazine named after the king of pop himself, John Kensil. Kensil.
Hey, people out there, thanks for tuning in. And I know you don't like bathing, but Wid and I were just talking recently about the movie that scared people out of the water.
Well, that would be Jaws, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Jaws #1, okay? The Academy Award-winning blockbuster, okay, in 1975, right?
Yes.
And he was only 26 years old, okay, when he made this. You know,
Steven
what
Spielberg.
were you doing when you were 26, John?
I was just finishing up 4th grade.
Okay.
Ladies.
That was the hardest 9 years of his life.
Yes.
No. And at 26, you think, wow. And he had already done a couple of television shows, and he had Duel, right?
If you think about Duel is Jaws with a truck trying to kill a guy. With Dennis Weaver. In the movie Duel, it's a TV movie that was so good, they shot more scenes and released it theatrically.
I remember that. Yeah, it was weird because it was on TV first, and then it was in the movie.
Yeah, Dennis Weaver was a guy driving across the country, and he cuts off a trucker, and a trucker comes after him. Yeah. And it's relentless, and he has to avoid him. And that's what Steven Spielberg is a really good at, a real adept at, in that tension and scary. Because like you think the truck's not there, next thing you have this giant black evil truck, and you never see the driver. And he's trying to kill him the whole movie. Very good movie. And Dennis Weaver, who's usually like a hero, played McLeod and stuff.
Did you ever find out why he was chasing him? Or is it one of those unanswerable questions that like the end of the Sopranos?
I don't even think he cut him off. The guy must have been a driver who just was wacko.
Or maybe he just wanted to see how his Peterbilt. Okay, no, I'm sorry.
Exactly. But everybody fell in love with Jaws. Jaws fever was around. There was T-shirts. I remember getting iron-ons that are like Mad Magazine.
So out there.
The great big book of Jaws jokes. Well, Wid and I were talking, and we talked about this before on our podcast. And I had the CD somewhere. It's in my truck still. It's a CD. There was was he a New York DJ?
Who's that?
Dickie Goodman.
Dickie Goodman was not a DJ. He was someone who produced records.
He used to make his own records, and he was always trying to make it with like novelty records.
The novelty records that he had. See, he was somebody who put together something called break-ins. Okay, and this was like sampling. But
sampling.
He took it like. He took it from different songs of the time. His first big hit was, of course...
Mr. Jaws.
No, not Mr. Jaws.
Oh, the Alien.
Was Flying Saucer.
Right,
okay?
And that was in the 50s, early
1956,
yeah.
Yes. And Dickie Goodman, he had a whole bunch of, like, he had... anything to do with pop culture that was around, like Flying Saucers were very big in 56, okay? And... Batman and Grandmother, okay, he had, okay? Instead of a Jacques, he had and put out a song called Harry's Jockstrap, which is his wife sang, okay?
Oh, that's terrific.
And then, it didn't chart. But, so he had all these parody records. Could you look up the lyrics to Mr. Jaws?
Well, I remember a lot of it. He played a reporter on the beach, And he goes, here we are on the beach in
I'm John Cameron.
That's exactly right. And the shark's been going around eating people. Sure, if you could say something to the shark, what would you say? And he heard, why can't we be friends? Why can't we
be friends? And then, hey, Mr. Jaws, why did you bite me on the arm? And then he goes, wouldn't you give your hand to a friend?
Mr. Shark, are you ever going to stop this? Babe, you ain't seen nothing yet. And it was only one line from his song, and it was a gigantic. It was so popular on like AM radio.
But he did that with all his novelty records. It was called break-ins, and he would sample or take parts of different popular songs at the time. Mr. Jaws actually went. Dickie Goodman's Mr. Jaws actually went to #1 on on the Billboard charts. And not that that means anything now, but in 1975, that was a very important deal to be able to say, hey, I got a #1 record.
Well, you know who played a lot too? Like a lot of morning zoo type guys before it's called morning zoo, like morning entertainers.
With Jaws, it'd be more like morning aquarium.
Right. And I remember actually going out and buying the 45. It had a red label on it because I thought it was funny.
Dickie Goodman was funny.
Well,
but we would always crack up at, wouldn't you, what are you going to do now that you're out of here? And then they'd do a little dance.
Yeah, every song that was popular in 1975 and 76, he had a line from the song. And it's, you think about it now, it's so stupid, right?
It's so stupid,
right? And, well, Dickie Goodman though, he did a couple more years, and then he blew his brains out at his house. But his son, Dickie Goodman Jr., he tried to do more like modern day song parodies like that, and it went nowhere. And I think he sells siding.
Yeah,
but
and his partner. His partner went on to record the Three Stooges, okay? He made all those Stooges albums from 1959 on, including I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas and a couple other things. But I thought it was so funny that Dickie Goodman, the king of the break-in novelty records, his partner... actually, three of our heroes, three of our heroes, the Stooges, were recorded by his partner.
Now, we was talking about here, too, it's the later Three Stooges. It was Mo, Larry, and Curly Joe Dorita, the 60s Stooges, when they're all old and bags in their eyes. And Curly Joe's big line was, hey, buddy boy, what do you think you're doing there, buddy boy? And he'd smoke a cigar. Well, they want to capitalize on him, so they released these record albums, and I got one. Oh, it's so awful hearing 3 70-year-old guys with tinny voices going, I want it for Christmas. Hey, leave me alone. I'm warning you.
They sold pretty good because he made like 4 or 5 of these albums. Yeah. And I guess from 1959 on, that's when they started showing in, every day,
A little side note, too, about that. You want to see the worst thing in the world ever? Look on YouTube for the Three Stooges cartoons.
Starring John Kensil.
There you go. Right? It's the worst piece of crap you've ever seen in your life. It's really badly animated, and it sounds like they're talking through soup cans. It's totally crap. But it's funny, though, too, is that when we talk about Jaws,
Spielberg wasn't their first... they weren't going to... use him as director because they felt he didn't have enough experience, and this was a hot property. And
the book was only published like a year earlier.
Yeah,
right.
And it was a hot property. It was a billion seller. And the director that they were going to hire kept referring to the Jaws as a alligator.
Yeah, it was a foreign guy, I think, right?
He kept referring to Jaws, the shark, as an alligator. So they said, no, we better get the kid in here.
But there's things I never noticed, but once you hear about them, you'll notice it now. Like when the shark had 5 barrels floating behind him.
Right.
The next time you see it, it's only 3 barrels, and like whatever happened to the other 2. When the shark breaks through the glass, when Brody's in the boat and the shark breaks through and starts going like that, right? Sharks can't swim backwards. The shark just goes boop, 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 and backs out, and that's when he throws the thing in its mouth.
So those are some technical, not technical, those are some goofs, as we say in the business.
And this movie's so popular, though, people like find every little thing. Like here,
that always like, yeah, I kind of don't ever read the goofs in a movie, because a lot of times it'll take the, I don't want to know that the shark didn't swim backwards.
I know.
I still want my fantasy he threw it in reverse.
And the movie has one of my favorite scenes in any movie of all time. It's probably iconic when the Chief's on the beach and here's something people don't realize. And the kid gets eaten on the raft, right? And the camera zooms in on the Chief's face, but he comes into focus. It's a really cool scene, right? In the background is the Olivia Newton-John song playing, I Honestly Love You, right? Okay. And it's real light, and it's just at that point in the songs when the kid gets eaten. It's also really sad, too. And also, too, when his mom slapped the Chief in the face, he should have decked her.
I hear that they did that scene 17 times, and each time it hurt, okay? Yeah. And at one time his glasses flew off, okay, that she hit him with such a force.
Oh, like, all right, the famous scene when he throws the air tank in the shark's mouth. He throws it in bottom first because he goes like that. It's like a fire extinguisher, the flat end. Well, when the shark's coming at him, and he's like, die, you son of a bitch, right? It's the flat end sticking out of the shark's mouth like a cigar. Like, nah, guys, see, I'm going to eat him, see? Yeah.
And it's all bullshit.
Yeah, it's all fake, right?
You know what's kind of neat, too? That there's a guy called Carl Gottlieb.
Yeah, he's also a big comedy guy.
He's a big comedy guy. He wrote for, he's a sitcom writer from New York, from Brooklyn, I guess. And he wrote for the Bob Newhart Show. He wrote for the Smothers Brothers.
Yeah.
And he wrote for The Odd Couple. And he was in the movie The Jerk, which I think that he was probably good friends with somebody else who worked on the Smothers Brothers show, a guy named Steve Martin, okay? And it's kind of funny to see that these people who are in other great iconic movies or iconic TV shows, that he's an actor in this. I forget.
Yeah, I forgot who he played in it. I know, but there's a really good interview on the Gilbert Gottfried podcast with him.
Really? I did not know that.
But it said, too, like, I know, this also kind of irked me, too. When the kid gets eaten and the Chiefs goes, get out of the water, get out of the water. Or is it then? Yeah, or when he sees that the two kids are fooling around, making a fake shark. But he goes, get out of the, no, it's when the kid gets eaten. He goes, get out of the water. People come running in. You see people like laughing, going, am I on camera? Loser.
That happened also in a movie called The Blob, okay? Not about Lizzo. The movie The Blob, and when they're running out of the movie theater in Phoenixville.
Right. The Colonial Theater.
And when they're running out, you can see them laughing at that. So maybe I do look at goofs once in a while. I'm looking at a goof right now.
And it's just there's the scene where he's Chief Brody's chumming,
right,
and goes, "We're going to need a bigger boat." That's a great scene, but it's neat too.
That line was not written.
Yeah,
that line was actually Roy Scheidner.
Yeah,
Roy Scheidner.
Scheider.
Yeah, he actually ad-libbed that. Okay, one of the most iconic. Phrases. Yeah. That's up there with, frankly, darling, I don't give a damn.
Now, this makes me laugh. This is really fun to read on the section called Goofs on the IMDb Internet Movie.
I know too.
Somebody actually spotted this. In one of the first scenes on the boat, Quint is not wearing socks. But in the following scene, he's wearing socks. And someone wrote it was helpful to find that fact out. Like, you freaking loser. But it's it's an incredible movie. You got to see it again. If anything, it's an old dated movie. The movie is, I'd say, it's timeless.
It's pretty much timeless. It's one of those. When Chief Brody is out on the beach telling people, that they shouldn't be in there in 1916 when the sharks were, attacking people in New Jersey, off the coast of New Jersey. The same thing happened. It started on July 1st, and they were trying to cover it up. the same way Chief Brody
Yeah,
was,
with tourism.
because the July 4th was a big time for Down the Shore too, in 1916. So
and it is, and they said like some of the knockoffs, like there's the films like the Yankton Field Mouse Massacre about Yankton, South Dakota. These field mice attack people, but like I said, the movie is timeless. Also too, you can watch a movie for film school, even though there's 75 goofs here. Just the way it's made, the pacing, the editing, the soundtrack, the score, the cinematography, just really top notch.
But I didn't like it because Quint didn't have socks on.
It ruined the movie for me.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we hope we didn't ruin this movie for you. Hey, and be sure to watch Jaws during the summer, okay? I'm sure that it's going to be great. And ladies and gentlemen, I am the legendary Wid, and here is our host, Mr. John Kensil. Be sure to subscribe and push the notification bell.
Share, tell your friends.